Hello all, this is Jeff Jones, Territory Director, EMEA for Admin by Request. And I do get asked quite often these days about UK Cyber Essentials and UK Cyber Essentials Plus certification. So this is a UK government compliance certification that many UK businesses are going through and would like to achieve that. And very, very many of our customers who download and use Admin by Request have questions as to whether or not Admin by Request is or is not compliant. And of course, the answer there is very much it all depends on how you configure it. So just to give you a little heads up on Cyber Essentials. So the standard Cyber Essentials was really created before privileged management solutions really were around or affordable for the average business. And so therefore they made their standard assuming that there was no privileged management solution on endpoints, and therefore they were advocating the concept of account separation. So what they're getting at here is they don't want users in businesses in the UK logging in to their laptops as admins. They would much prefer, and I think we'd all prefer, users to not have a permanent admin rights. So where there's a little bit of divergence is that the Cyber Essentials standard states that you must have a completely separate account to do anything as admin, whereas with Admin by Request, because we're managing privilege elevation and safe elevation of processes, that is being done under the user's profile, I guess, even though the actual elevation is not technically done as the user, it's a different security token. But that said, many auditors with Cyber Essentials may just see the product Admin by Request and they don't know what it is, don't know how it works, and they would just say, oh, this isn't account separation, and therefore I'm going to give you a fail, which is sort of it's a I guess touchy subject perhaps, but if I can give you a little example. So for example, I'm on my computer now, and let's just say I've configured Admin by Request so that the user is only able to elevate a single application, and that application is the USB formatting tool Rufus. So if I try to elevate something else like VLC, which is a manifest file, I'm going to get a block, and same with Notepad++. But if I try and elevate Rufus, I'm able to elevate Rufus. Okay, so one single file I can elevate as admin. It's been checked, it's safe, and I'm allowed to elevate it. So where could be the risk in that? So believe it or not, many auditors for Cyber Essentials Plus would fail this because they would say it's not account separation. So what they are advocating is that I can do something like this, run as different user, type in perhaps full admin account, like so, and now I can start Task Manager under my full admin account, and I can run a new task, command prompt as an administrator, fully unrestricted, and that actually is a pass because I've used different credentials. So this is the slight conflict here, is that we have the Admin by Request solution, which is safe, which is granular access to privileges, has all sorts of additional protections and auditing going on, and then we have the old kind of standard of account separation, which is compliant, which is allowing users to have a separate, full, unaudited, unrestricted administrator account. And many people might think that this full admin account is just way too much admin and is sort of a kind of backward step. But anyway, that's, I guess, open to personal opinion. But anyway, so the problem is, I guess, is that we obviously need to keep the auditors happy. And I'm in no way saying that Cyber Essentials is a bad standard. Of course, it's been very good for helping businesses get cyber fit. So I definitely support Cyber Essentials. I'm just thinking that in this particular case, the standard needs to be updated to include just in time and just enough privilege management, the solutions that companies like Admin by Request and many other companies offer. So if we want to look at compliance with Cyber Essentials Plus, there are two ways to do this. These ways basically enable you to perform elevations under different credentials, which is the kind of the acid test to pass the certification. So if we have a look, of course, ignore the Rufus because I pre-approved that. So really, I guess what we should do is, if we're going to be absolutely show you that it's all absolutely compliant, we should remove where's it gone here? It's in app control. And I'm going to remove the Rufus application like so. So what that now means is that if I go back onto my endpoint here, I should now not be able to elevate Rufus. Oops, hang on a second. Maybe I didn't save that. Let me just try that again. Okay, I'm obviously not saving it in the right place. Did I edit that? I probably got this somewhere else. No, it's definitely not there. Maybe I put it in here. No. Aha, here we go. So you can see this is the vendor certificate for Rufus. So it's never the product, it's always the demonstrator, as I always say. So if I now go back, I should now be able to, there we go, I get blocked. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. So I cannot perform any sort of elevation with Admin by Request, and obviously my logged in user is not an administrator. So the first means to elevate something with full account separation is actually to use a feature which was initially designed for support help desk people to context switch Admin by Request settings for those of the logged in user. But in this scenario, we're actually not going to be a help desk person. We're going to be the logged in user's second account. So if I hit start on here, in my user account, I'm going to go, because I'm logged in as my test user Adam C. So I'm going to go adamc.adm, which is a separate account I'm using for account separation. And then this is the UPN. And then authenticate password. And then I hit OK. Like so. And now I'm logged in as my ADM account. And what does this mean? Well, this means that I can now elevate stuff without being blocked. And you can see I've actually changed the look and feel of my ADM account. So I know black is, admin kind of like additional functionality. So this particular method is so much better than a full unrestricted admin, because with this method we can block certain applications. We have the functionality, the malware solution that we have built into the product, which basically prevents users from running anything that is malicious. And this OpsWat system can have up to 20 different AV engines. So it's giving users more admin with Admin by Request, but with separate credentials, but with so much more protections. And let's also not forget the extra auditing you get as well. So this is so much better than using a permanent administrator account on the side of a non-privileged account. And when when I've decided to finish with my admin, I just stop my support as a session, and then I go back to my previous non-privileged settings, and you see I've got access denied here. So that really passes the test with the cyber essentials, because I've elevated something without using the same credentials as the logged in user. And actually it vastly surpasses cyber essentials because we have all those additional protections and audit logging in, as I've mentioned before. However, some auditors took a dim view of this technique because it's using the support assist feature, and they would say this feature was not designed for account separation. It's kind of splitting hairs a bit, but they were saying we're using a feature that is what it was unintended to be used for. Again, personally, I think that's slightly unreasonable. We pass the requirements. The application is elevated with different credentials, and that is that. But anyway, so with 8.5, we created a new functionality which is called account separation. And what this functionality does is it essentially makes it impossible for the user to elevate any application with the logged in account that they're using. Okay, so I'm going to go and turn this feature on. So, and also what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into my subsettings. I'm going to reactivate the, I think it's in this one here. So I'm going to allow myself to be able to elevate things because previously I'd blocked. And I think I just want to show you what it looks like when you don't have the account separation feature turned on. Okay, so I've just gone and re-enabled things. So previously with the support assist method, you would block the logged in user from doing anything. If the logged in user is able to elevate stuff and we don't take that block off, let's go through and do the Rufus again. So I'm going to launch that. We should get MFA now because this MFA has been configured. And you can see this is my logged in user, Adam C. And I go 50 like that in my phone. That is all good. And then you can see we're elevating Rufus, and you can just go into Task Manager, why not? And just be absolutely happy that Rufus is indeed being elevated. Where's he gone? He is here. Rufus. Oh, I don't have my, let me just create the elevated column because I do want to show you that this is most definitely elevated. And you can see it is elevated. Okay, so we elevated that with the logged in user. And of course, some auditors, even with all those extra protections you have with admin by request, some auditors would say that is not going to pass you. So let's go and turn on the account separation feature. And this is selectable on your tenant. If you don't see it on your tenant, you're going to have to ask us to turn it on for you. But if we go to UAC, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to change the mode of MFA from email match, which means, so how this works is that when you saw it working there, the MFA mode has email match is selected. What that means is that the elevation will only work if the UPN of the logged in user matches, okay, the email address. So the account separation feature is essentially the reverse. So what that means is that with this feature enabled, the user that's logged in, the UPN can't match the MFA, so it has to be a different user account. So I'm going to just refresh those settings, and we're going to try Rufus again and see how this is different. So I'm going to double click to elevate, and this time what you'll see is the username and password box will be blank. Okay, so that's how you know this is working. So I'm going to ADM. I tell you what I'll do. I'll do the logged in user, and you can see what happens. So with this feature, what happens is that the user still has to go through this authentication, like so. You'll then get the MFA prompt, which I'm going to add in. That's that there. Nope. And then of course you think it's all going to be fine, but then what happens? Boom, it says you must use a secondary account. So actually this is the screen that's going to please the auditor, because they'll see this message and they're going to give you a tick in their interpretation of the rules. So let's try that again, this time with the second account. So I'm going to start up Rufus. This time I'm going to put in my secondary account instead. So I've given this user an ADM account. Hit next. Password. Like so. I've got to authenticate again. My phone. Okay. No. And this time we go through and you can see Rufus is elevated. So really that is the account separation feature that was implemented with Admin by Request 8.5. So you will need 8.5 for Windows for this functionality to work. But you can see that it's again, it's similar to the support assist. I guess the benefit of this method is that with the first method, support assist method, you're using something called support assist, which some auditors may be slightly confused about. You'd have to set up your secondary subsetting, whereas this method you don't. And also, I guess, both methods are going to need you to create a second account. Now, I don't know about you, but the thought of having to set up all my users with secondary accounts doesn't exactly fill me with huge amounts of joy. I personally, and this is again my personal opinion, I feel that Admin by Request as an EPM does a much better job the managing privileges than needing a secondary account. And I guess what I'm saying here, I guess, is that EPM solutions were created to avoid the kind of like the all or nothing approach of having a full unrestricted admin or nothing. Those are two. This is kind of a little bit like in the very old, power users. Power users would give you access to do control panel stuff and nothing else. So again, that is sort of like you're more of an admin than a standard user, but it's permanent. And anything that is permanent is not just in time and is not, in my view, just enough. But that said, the guidelines are there. The rules is the rules, as they say. So if you're wanting to know how to configure Admin by Request for the most, I guess, strict interpretation of the rules, and if the auditor simply is just got a checklist and is just ticking things off as per his interpretation, then that auditor is going to want to see your users perform elevations with a separate account. So you will need, 2 accounts per user, and you will need to manage 2 sets of passwords for users. Of course, you wouldn't want users to be able to reset those passwords and them to be the same, because that would be totally daft. But that probably is likely to happen. So then, I guess that is really all there is to say on the new account separation feature with Admin by Request. So I hope you found this video useful. There's plenty more on the channel, so as usual, subscribe and like. That's jolly nice. Anyway, for now, that's all. Toodaloo from me. Cheerio.